Good evening, everyone. Yeah, you like that transition? How's everyone doing? It's WoW Wednesday. And if you read the description, I really want to try and improve my absolutely horrendous PvP skill. Yeah, let's see here. Oh no, I'm under attack by a waiter. This is terrible service. So anyway, if you saw from the title, I am determined to improve my horrendous PvP skill. But I can't just stand around waiting for queues all day, so I've decided to also try and do a transmog run in between queues. And so I'm going to need all your guys' good vibes while I try to do this, because despite there being a few pieces I need here, I'll just see if I can, what am I doing? Excuse me. I don't care if you have true sight. You're not allowed to talk to me. Let's see here. So you see I have 3 pieces that I need. Not to mention there's a couple of mod pieces off some of these optional bosses that I also need.
Their behavior will not be tolerated.
The last time I ran this on stream, I didn't get a single piece. Not a single one. So I'm asking for your guys' good vibes today to hopefully give me some of these mogs, because I've actually, ever since I decided I was going to do mog runs, like last expansion, I've been doing cars on, these stupid pieces won't drop for me. I don't know what it is about the chess event. I don't know why the Shade of Ryan doesn't want to give me what I want. I know why Prince doesn't give me what I want. Prince is just, you know, a final boss, and they can't just have him dropping whatever, because then you wouldn't do him anymore. So he only drops like a headpiece, and it's never my headpiece. Let's see it. I don't know if there's anything I can get that I don't already have here. I guess I don't have that gun. But I'm guessing I have to get the Red Riding Hood. I'm guessing I have to get the Red Riding Hood. Oh, random battleground.
Good evening!
Warson Gulch. So I queued up for like random battleground, epic battleground, and the event battleground. And even though the event battleground is in fact Warson Gulch, I appear to have just gotten regular old Warson Gulch. Yeah, I gotta do this properly. It's Warson Gulch. I need to reduce the walking speed of all these people. Alright, how are we looking? Deeps, healer. What does the other team got? Oh, Death Knight Fade. Fantastic. Great. Druid, Shaman, Priest, Druid. We are screwed. Like, in all honesty, we are pretty screwed right now. Let's do a little bit of layout editing for the stream while I'm here. Yeah, let's go! Now, again, I'm not great at PvP, so I'm just going to do some general stuff like try to slow flag carriers, or if I somehow end up being the one with the flag, I sprint like a mofo. And I have all my slow poisons on. I can hopefully get away a little bit. Why is there deer pet battles here? I'm so confused. Don't worry guys, we're gonna get him from multiple angles. You'll never see it coming. Who still goes into the front door? That seems like a very great way to get yourself killed immediately. They're always defending the front door. Oh, he's retaliating. I thought he was just blocking me. That was my own fault. I forgot what the retaliation looked like. Off to a good start. Fantastic. Alright. Okay, so we've lost our flag already. We're just gonna try and burn him down. Is that what's happening here? That is exactly what everyone's trying to do. Yeah, sure. Burn down the warrior. That makes sense. Oh. Is that really where our flag is? I saw that guy taking off up there. How's our flag by the front door? Is this bugged? Or did we, like, daisy chain rip him all the way back to our front door? Oh no, see, he's up there. That makes more sense. It's more akin to how I believed the game was going. Yeah, you guys just... No, ignore me. All my defensive cooldowns are already gone. I let the captive flag. How fantastic. We're doing a really good job here, guys. But you see, I don't lose hope. I remember way back in BC, I was doing a Warsong Gulch Battleground. And back then there wasn't a time limit or anything like that, so there's no draw condition, no nothing. And I came into the match and it was already 2-3 for the Alliance. Now, most people would have given up, and a bunch of people did give up, actually. And that's how I ended up in there, obviously, was somebody gave up and some other new people popped up, and we said we're at least going to try. And we ended up winning the match. However, in that particular instance, the Alliance, you know, were kind of turtling, hoping if we were going to give up or something. And by the time we were done, it had been a hour match, I feel it was like an hour match. And that was an hour match from when I got there, not it was an hour match in total. Oh yeah, no, this is not happening here. Yeah, that was not happening. I probably should have hugged the wall a little bit more. I'm not down with this Warsun Gulch meta yet. But I said, but at least I went there. I don't know where everybody else was, because it was me and the Hunter. The Hunter let me grab it for reasons I don't understand. Right, so it was me and the Hunter, but where was everybody else? What were they doing? Everyone's just fighting in the middle, it looks like. And the problem was, that'd be fine, but we suck at fighting in the middle, obviously, because we're not getting anywhere. Let's look at some kills here. I got a couple of killing blows, but it's mostly Alliance. The Alliance is mostly the ones who are doing the murdering here. Oh god, they're gonna go after him there. Jeez, did he drop that fast? Dude, I put up more of a fight than that. That was sad, man. I don't know how I'm getting honor. What are these stuns these warriors have now? I don't appreciate the hamstring. This is not working out well for me at all. And it's not even that I think my I don't even think it's because my rotation is off. There's just something. Well, let's be honest. My rotation probably is off, but I don't even think that that's the main problem. It's almost like I'm not doing any damage when I do hit them. Come on, somebody's got to help me here. I'm doing my absolute darndest. Oh, good job, man. We managed to save this and prolong the inevitable. The inevitable is certainly where we're headed, I guess. Alright, where's this flag carrier gonna go? It's going out that way by the look of it. Wow, I don't know my way around here at all, apparently. Yeah. Come on, I thought there was a way to jump off this roof. Or is there only a way to jump it off in there? God, it's been so long since I've done a proper Warsun Gulch. Usually I just get decimated immediately because my team just herp-derps in the middle, which it seems pretty close to what they're doing right now. Well, there is we're carrying the Alliance flag down, but the Horde flag appears to be out there by itself, so now if they're doing the proper play, I mean, they were just, oh boy. The worst part about all this is I'll never get exalted with Warsaw Gulch at this point. Because with that I got 35 rep points. 35. That's the one downside of trying to do a MOG run in between. Because there's I just want to do something that I want to do in like my downtime, but I don't have a lot of time to, which is get some of these MOGs down. But the downside of trying to do that is when I do one of these battlegrounds, nothing, man. Every time I do one of those battlegrounds, get tossed out of here, and now I gotta walk all the way back. And the worst part is if the queue pops while I'm waiting for that dude to start the Opera House event, he starts the whole speech over next time I go there. Oh, actually, he may not have. Might just open the door. Because I see Granny. And if I see Granny, that means it might actually be possible for me to... No, go away, I don't want that. It might actually be possible for me to get the rifle here. Yeah, I think the rifle and the dagger are all I'm missing. Yo, Grandma, the big guys, what fat loot you have.
The better to own you.
What a surprise, I didn't get this transmog I was looking for. What a surprise. Story of my life. Excuse me. I was just passing through. How rude was that? I'm just trying to get to the library, man. How many range do these guys have? I mean, considering how much higher level I am than them, you think they'd be a little less gung-ho to attack me, but... Especially since it's not their tower. They're just audience members. I gotta say, as an audience member, I've never felt the need or desire to defend the building I was in. Well, okay, so the first war song goal shouldn't work out, so let's do a special one. So we still only have 10 people each. Well, it looks like we're not even able to muster 10 people right now. Now, how does this work? Do we need to have all of our flags in our possession before we can cap an alliance one? Or do we just need to have more in control than they do? This thing's not clear. It just said there was a lot of flags and you only need one to cap. But I'm a little lost as to what the rules actually are. Well, at least we got 2 healers this time. It's better than last time. Alright, bell begins in 1 minute. So 30 seconds. Come on, let me out. Let's go. I don't think you should be asking the strategy right before the wall comes down. What is this? Oh, I can death grip. Or scorpion grip, whatever you want to call it, I can do it. Alright, so I think I understand now. If we need 10 flags. So my impression is, okay, someone got stuck on a trap. So my impression is the rules that we are used to are moot. How can I be in combat if the guy stealthed away? So I'm not making sense here, Blizz. Okay, so we got all 3 flags. Now we're all 3 flags on their way out. Okay, now we have the 3rd flag. Was it a good idea to split up, guys? It seems to be a pretty random thing to be doing. Although leaving one guy back there might be a good idea. Because having one guy back there means they might go for him. He's an easier prey. Yeah, but like seriously, I kind of wish they explained the rules a bit better, because I don't know, do I actually need or want to be attacking these flag carriers? Oh, I got 100 rep. I actually returned a flag. Woo! Oh, we captured another one. Why are you casting Pyroblast at me? It was the least efficient thing you could have cast at me. Nah, maybe she'll die of like docs or something. Okay, so yeah. I'm gonna guess that we don't have to control more than them, per se. What's our power up now? Discount dismounts the enemy and reduce the combat effect. Oh jeez, that's a lot of peeps. I was too busy reading, I didn't realize I was running right into my death. Oh, one guy saw me. What's your end game here, dude? What a surprise. Still only can't do damage to him because he's a goddamn Death Knight. A lot of people in chat, in the Looking for Group chat, are arguing about how they feel Torghast, which is one of the main parts of this expansion, is actually kind of bad. Now, the wife and I actually like Torghast, but we don't we don't necessarily like the repetitiveness of it, and there's a mode called the Twisting Corridors, which doesn't even really give you a reward, other than like some cosmetics and stuff. And that mode is just the same mode as the other Wings of Torghast, except 3 times as long, and therefore also harder. And they're talking about how Blazing Nobles Torghast is bad, so that's why they've leaked the release date of TBC Classic, which is the second expansion, or the first expansion that WoW had, I should say. I was clicking on that like a son of a gun, and I did not get it. I don't know if it's because there was an overlay in the way or what, but I really feel like I should have gotten that. I was about to say, I must have been being helped. There was no way I was doing that on my own. Where do you think you're going? Okay, so... now that he has no allies outside, I'm assuming it won't be too hard to get rid of the threat inside. Burst damage. And how are they able to click these things faster than I can? This seems completely unfair. Oh, is our flag over on this side? Bring back our flag, you jerk. What is he, a shaman?
Far away.
Come on, guys. I'm slowing them for you. I'm sacrificing my life so you guys can get to that flag carrier, so you better hurry up. Did we just bloodlust? It seemed like a really odd time to bloodlust. Okay, guys, we gotta do something about the healer. Just throwing that out there. Yeah, returning flags. Oh, we're up 6-4. Now, let's see here. I actually should have been checking. Do I have... okay, so I actually have most of the achievements for Warsong Gulch. I don't need to be a tryhard with returning the flag. Alright, so I saw one of our flags running around down here. There are 3 paladins here. How in God's name am I supposed to DPS them down when there's 3 paladins, all of which are probably healing each other, if we're being totally honest here.
I need to get closer.
Come on, slow him. Slow him. No. Oh dear lord, they caught up. What are you guys doing? Why are you all running around like idiots?
Too far away.
Get these fools. This stun locking stuff is getting old really fast. Come back here. You do not escape me. Wow, they suddenly have taken the lead. Why are you guys trying to kill those paladins? They don't have our flags. Like, can you guys just return the flags? Is that too much? Are you unable to complete this task? Slow everybody down. I'm slowing everybody down. I can't kill anybody, so I'm just gonna slow them all down for you. How's my rep doing with these guys anyway? Probably not great. I mean, I guess I'm honored with them. Now, after having this character for 13 years, I guess being honored with them is the best I can hope for. Alright, perfect. More honor for me. I don't even know how close I am to CC2. Probably not very.
I'm out of range. I don't have a target.
When you return the flag, work towards your achievement. I already got mine. Okay, so so much messaging unfortunately going on that I have no idea if our flag has been, someone has grabbed it or what the heck is this? Okay, so that's a knockback.
Too far away.
Get him down. Slow him down. Slow him down.
I need to get closer.
Wow, I just got raffle stomped. There was some raffle stomping in my present there. Good. Yay, we did it! Yay! What'd I get? Honor, conquest. Get a few marks of honor. Awesome. Awesome. Okay. So what am I still in queue for? Epic Battleground. Alright. Why am I walking? I do not need to be walking. I can fly. I have no idea how far this thing is going to let me get before that last queue pops. The problem is now the backdoor raid entrance is just gone now because it leads to the revamped dungeon. So I can't even use the shortcut anymore.
Here.
I don't need to be picking that stuff up. It's not worth the money or time. Two gold for the two of them. Not bad. So I didn't get any sort of like chest or anything for doing that background. I mean, that was a brawl and everything. Really? Now I only get 8 conquest points? I do not approve. And the amount of honor you need to get all the levels is like insane to me. Cause what's the cap now? I have no idea what the cap is, but I know it's pretty high. Again, you guys, this isn't your house. You do not need to defend it with such rigor. Why is the epic battleground always Ultra Valley? It's never not Ultra Valley. Let's see here. Alright. Remember to defend IBT and don't forget your mask. Oh, I'm sure that's a joke nobody's told recently. Or one that we'll be telling for years to come. They're still arguing and looking for a group, by the way, about tour guys being garbage and therefore TBC Classic is being released right around now. Alright, so the stampede begins. I probably love. I don't even know who I'm supposed to turn this into. Or wait, that was a quest in here, actually, I think. The stuff I'm seeing in chat now is just awesome, guys. Like, you wouldn't even believe. It's why, like, some people are like, hey, you cover up chat when you have your face down here. Yeah. That's intentional. Like, right now they're talking about a lot of butt stuff. Oh, someone actually went and got the mines. I'm actually kind of impressed. I cannot fit through the door. That is embarrassing. That's usually a problem only Tauren have. But here I am, being an undead, having that problem.
Too far away. I don't have a target.
Now, the Alta Rock Valley, like NPC people, have a lot of freaking health. We're getting attacked by like 6 people at once. And only then are you kind of seeing them. Ooh, hello. Hello, Commander Randolph. That's not the guy I'm trying to kill. Yeah, can't see anymore. So I don't know who said defend IVT, but he's gonna be sorely disappointed. Also, I'm loving how this night I was like, as he gets hit from 85 different directions.
You have a target.
Alright, I guess I should at least try to get the towers back.
Break their bones.
Because if I can at least like I can stealth up there, so if there's enough people keeping everybody else distracted, I might actually be able to sneak in. That's a lot of people though. And they're all kind of like fighting in the doorway, so I don't see me. Well, they can apparently see me, so okay, so that didn't work. So do I just try some of the south stuff? What am I doing here? Okay, well, we got one tower. Okay, so there are a horde up there keeping whoever's up there distracted. So let's see if there's few enough people that I could reasonably go in and recap. Or, you know what? That guy's got it. He's got it good. He's fine. How did that person get so much health back so fast? I hate healers with a passion. Like, how am I supposed, like, even with this NPC, this extremely strong NPC, wailing on them, I cannot do the necessary damage required to actually down them. Jeez. Okay, so we've got one tower back. Oh, is that another healer? Oh, he got out really quick. Dang it. That's a lot of people hopping down. That's a lot of people hopping down. They're definitely going to go for tower point. Now we'll be a little bit ahead because we're probably going. They have to restart the cap on this entirely.
To battle.
Yeah, so they have to try and recap this entirely. Whereas we have both down. So we're a little bit ahead. Everyone can move north now. Because as long as they don't have this down here, I think we should be okay to push forward. How many Altrock Valleys do I still need to win? I did a lot of jeez. I did so much Altrock Valley back in the day. I don't know how you're supposed to get that achievement. It's not possible. I don't care what anyone says. Now the Alliance goes and grabs a mine. I'm not surprised we lost Tower Point. There's... Every Alliance that was at here just went down there. Now, as long as we don't allow ourselves to get super turtled up here, we'll simply win by getting ahead of them. But, I mean, they do have a very solid defense with this bridge here. Yeah, get Commander Duffy. I don't know why he ran in there the way he just did. I don't understand what the point of that was. He's just going to end up over here. Yeah, so yeah, the way we can still lose is the Alliance, they have a bridge here. It's a really, really good bottleneck point. And the Horde do have a constant issue of getting stuck on the bridge. And then there's other issues like now that Shamans have the ability to knock people around, knock them off bridges, have actual knockback, there is the issue now that we can just be knocked off. Now, I do believe we're slightly overwhelming their forces here. So we're probably okay as of this moment. Alright, so they already went after north, so let's try and grab south. Okay, somebody's driving south now. Perfect. Except the Alliance took the north one back because our guys were doing something very unintelligent, I'm guessing. See, the one big problem I have with this battleground is how hard it is to, like if you're up here attacking, you probably want to get back to your base to help defend. But unless you have the trinket, which is only good for level, well, what used to be level 60, probably good for level 20 now, the trinket's useless to have. And that was how you were supposed to teleport back to the base. So, without taking up a trinket spot, your best bet is actually to just... Your best bet is you're going to have to run. But look at how much far I have to run down to get all that. So... So, in order to get all the way down there and waste a bunch of time, and I'm not helping anybody there. I'm not helping the attack, I'm not helping the defense, I'm not helping anybody right now, I'm dead, but... Oh jeez, we still haven't captured that graveyard? Okay, well now we captured the aid station. So does that mean, I'm actually not positive. Does that mean if they die, do they go to their starting area or do they go down to Snowfall? Oh, now we get the Stormbite Graveyard. Okay, so our defense is keeping us up. I can't see us losing this right now. Yeah, I can't see us losing this now. Because we have too much of a lead. We have both towers, we have the graveyard. Ooh, what do you got? Yeah. So they're not ahead of us in any way, shape, or form. So as long as we just wait until these towers go down, which we should be able to do momentarily. Just wait on Captain Mortimer. Oh my god, the damage Captain Mortimer does. I was about to say Captain Mortimer do. I don't know if you guys can see him in here. Let's just zoom in. Yeah, we're just wailing on this poor guy. I don't know how strong this person is that he can take this many knives to the face and not be killed, but
I can't carry anymore.
yeah, so essentially we're just really waiting for these two towers to go down, because once they go down, the main boss that we're trying to kill is by himself. Come on. Okay, there goes the south bunker, so the north bunker should be about 30 seconds behind that. They're calling for an all-in already, which is interesting. Hey, you're taking him away from me. Bring him back here. Okay. Now we're good. Who's taking him out? Wow. Idiots. Yeah, so I was like, well, I'm not a tank, he was going to kill me, then you die. You would just respawn right there. Attack! You take it like a man, guys. Just accept your death. I think it's actually my gear was just that bad compared to some of the people in here. I've tried so hard to keep it updated. Woohoo! Did I actually help? No. I did damage though, but I never killed anybody. Alright, queues are all done, so I'm just gonna go in and do my finish my Mog run, and then if there's enough time, we'll queue in front of the background. Alright. So yeah, I wish I had more ways of getting gear or figuring out how to get gear. So I'm at 177. Now that's not bad, especially for somebody who hasn't been doing any Mythic Plus or anything, and I'm really being dragged down by these god-awful trinkets. But I've even got a few decent weapons. But I really feel like I need to find some better gear, because there's people just out DPSing me all the time. And my DPS isn't horrible. I know it's not horrible, because I've seen horrible in a couple of the random, like, normal dungeons I've done. But I'm certainly not doing a lot. Now, I don't know, because there are a couple of classes in previous expansions where their damage output was, like, exponential. Like, they were really bad at the start, but as they got more gear, the rate you'd see their DPS go up was just insane. Now they are really arguing about the expansion not being great. Like, they're like, someone has a point here where they're saying, like, a new expansion launches, people signed up to play, intros to play, and then unsub because that's how every expansion works. I mean, yes and no. I could very comfortably say that most of the expansions since, like, Catter or Mist always had, like, a bunch of people sign up to play and then it just dipped down afterward. But that dip happens kind of later into the expansion, right? That's what used to cause the dip, was when the content would run out. But that's not what I'm seeing here in Shadowlands, and especially in BFA. I mean, anecdotally, obviously, because I'm just one person who only has, like, you know, a certain circle of player friends that are definitely not representative of the full WoW population. But anecdotally, so many people that I know used to play don't play anymore. And BFA was really what killed it for them. Because when they added in those, that, was it in BFA or Legion? I can't remember now. Where they added in, like, this kind of thing to the side here. Where you could have, like, a group of people. That weren't in guilds, but sort of have them in the same, like, chat group and everything. My original plan was to get a bunch of people from work and people that I used to play with on previous expansions who I knew were going to come back, and to get them into that group. And then we could play together, do dungeons together, maybe even raid if enough people showed up. And when the expansion initially popped up, I did have, like, a decent number of people in there playing and, you know, doing a dungeon here and there when possible. But those people promptly stopped logging in.
Is no longer operational.
And I don't mean, like, they just stopped logging into those characters, because a few of them I actually have on Battle.net as well. They just stopped playing WoW, and we're talking before the first major content patch of BFA. So, and then they never came back. like one of them came back to play any Shadowlands. So to say that, you know, well, everybody logs in and then it drops off is true, but they're supposed to drop off when the content runs out. And if a new expansion's content is running out, like, now, like, we're just approaching now, or we're just past the 2-month mark of the expansion. should the number of people have dropped off that hard in 2 months? Should we really have lost that many people that I'm seeing here, and then again on the forums? And again, the forums are not indicative of the full population, but it's anecdotal evidence. Right? And BFA was the same thing. It was just people were logging out, not coming back after like a month or 2 months. And again, should we add in an expansion, be running old content and doing old raids and things, kind of like what I'm doing, so early in the expansion? And damn it. Even more damn it, I forgot to sell stuff. Hang on, look at my guild herald here. He'll let me sell things. So yeah, so it seems like in the last number of expansions, like people are coming in and then they're just not sticking around for very long. And that's not how an expansion is supposed to work. It's supposed to be that the time you see people drop off... Oh, that's actually something I can put on to get them out that way. Okay. Like, I'm not supposed to be seeing people drop off in, like, the 2-month mark. And when I think back to Wrath, certainly people dropped off, but they were dropping off at, like, the end of the expansion. Because one of the big problems with... well, I have a lot of garbage in here I didn't even realize. Oh. Taking my stupid transmog again, though.
Sub.
What was I talking about?
Strength.
I know I was bitching about BFA. Oh yeah, so no, the thing about Wrath of the Lich King was, once Iceground came out, it was like 10 months or something. It was some ridiculously high number of months before the next expansion came out. So there was a very, very significant content drought in between when Iceground was released and when the next bit of content came out. They did release a small raid, like 4 boss raid or something, near the beginning of the Cataclysm expansion, as a way to kind of try and tide people over. But I mean, it was short. It wasn't, you know, it was kind of hastily put together. It wasn't very big or long. It wasn't something like Iceground where you might have to spend 2 or 3 nights trying to do it. Like, this was a raid you could knock out in probably 1 night or even less than 1 night. Especially once you got good at it, right? I know you have something. I remember from last time. That's not it. That's not it. That's not... You suck! Now we're gonna go do the chess event. Jesus. Yeah, so it made sense to me that people would, you know, stop logging into, you know, Wrath when there was nothing to do for like 10 months, right? I always had stuff to do because I was never raiding with a lot of regularity in Wrath, and I'm always someone who was always going for achievements and trying to collect like every recipe known to man. So, like, I was trying to get, like, even old vanilla WoW leatherworking recipes, even though I had absolutely no incentive to craft any of them. I just wanted them to basically say that I had them. So I always had things to do, but I completely understand that there were a lot of people who legitimately ran out of things to do. But that's the thing. That happened at the end of the expansion.
Blood and thunder.
To my knowledge, there was nobody like popping in and then quitting at the beginning of Wrath, because Wrath's sub numbers were always going up. And since Wrath's, you know, numbers were so high, it was something that they were always advertising. Like, we're at 12 million. Or, like, we're at 11 million. Now we're finally at 12 million subscribers. And that's where WoW peaked, I think. It peaked at 12 million. And since it peaked at 12 million... and then I didn't really hear about it going down until the end of the expansion, but then when Cataclysm came out, it popped back up again. And that's what I'm expecting should happen near the end of the expansion. While there's a big lull in content, that's when people would unsub and then come back later. But with Shadowlands and BFA, you're hearing about people unsubbing and we're only 2 months in. So what is causing people to stop so much, right? Is the content not that engaging? Is it repetitive? Anything like that? And I can certainly see someone saying that the content is repetitive. I guess it's I think that's actually one of my biggest problems with modern day WoW was they tried to split all the activities up.
Interesting.
In the sense of, come on, let me control this guy. They tried to split all the content up. Like previously, in Wrath, BC, but that is not the way I needed you to face. No, you're not gonna. Okay. There was a clear path of progression, right? You do the quest to get to max level. Oh crap!
You dispute my honor?
You know, you do all the quests to get to the max level. Sorry, I'm stuttering. I'm trying to concentrate on this chest thing. So you do the quest to get to max level, do the max level quest to get some gear that way. Then you do max level dungeons, then you do heroics, then you do mythic, or not mythic, so what dungeons. But you do heroic dungeons, and then you would do the
Interesting. The transmitters strategy, of course.
And then after you were done heroics, you would start doing raids. And Wrath, I think, was the first dungeon, or the first dungeon.
Yes.
I can't talk for the life of me. Was the first expansion that kind of
interesting
attempted to make each subsequent raid tier obsolete the previous one. Because back in like Wrath and
necessary concentration is all it takes.
Because back in Wrath or TBC and Vanilla, you every time a new piece of content came out, it was kind of expected that you would still have done the previous content in order to be geared up enough to do whatever the new content was. And that was not the but that was not the case with Wrath. Wrath tried to like obsolete the previous raid tiers, but that was fine in the sense of there was a very clear progression.
All according to plan.
Oh, you're actually almost dead. So yeah, okay. I didn't even realize you were almost dead. So now I gotta start over. So yeah, with with Wrath, there was a very clear progression: quests, dungeons, heroics, 10-man raid, 25-man raid version of whatever the most current raid was, and then there were still ways to go back and get gear on some of the older raids that might still be helpful, or you can grind out some of the legendaries if you were the correct class for legendaries. But there was a very clear path. And you had to do it in these orders to get the best gear. But it was true that there were people that, you know, didn't like raiding or didn't like PvP or don't like dungeons who in order to get the best gear, were forced to do a bunch of content that didn't necessarily want to do in order to get, you know, the best gear and be as prepared for the raids or whatever it was you wanted to do. BFA and Legion, I think Legion was the first to do it, started doing like Mythic Pluses and World Quests with, you know, doing World Quests with rewards that was actual like gear. And what this created was a problem where I found you had too many people who were sticking only to one type of content. Like they were only doing, you know, Mythic Plus, or they were only doing raids, or they were only doing quests. And then that meant that, you know, all that clear progression was gone now, because it was like I could just go and do only quests or only at Mythic Pluses or whatever. And again, in some ways that's good. I mean, I'd hate people to, you know, constantly have to play content that they didn't want to play. That does kind of suck.
The transparent strategy.
You dispute my honor?
But
For an alternative
worst part
scenario.
was, like, for... You bastard. Move over here.
Challenging me?
But then the worst thing that happened was, like, for me, for example, I had done a whole bunch of world quests. I was doing that type of content for the longest time. Got a lot of pretty decent gear doing it.
Slay them all.
And I had a really good eye level. And then I said, okay, I've pretty much capped the amount of good gear I can get from doing world quests and being the world boss raids. So let me start doing some Mythic Pluses. But I quickly found there was this huge problem with my gear and my experience with Mythic Plus in general. Obviously, as somebody who didn't have a lot of experience doing Mythic Plus, I could only do like lower keys or lower difficulties, right? And this in itself is not, you know, weird. It's what you would kind of expect.
The slightest loss of concentration is all it takes.
But it kind of sucked because I had to do content. Have I lost all of my healers? That might have been a really bad move by me.
Yes, perhaps according to plan order.
And now he's
The wheels
cheating.
have begun to turn.
Awesome.
The wheels have begun to turn. I should have known.
Oh man, I think I'm losing this one again now. So anyway, so I decided I was going to do Mythic Plus, and I could only do like lower keys because I didn't want to be like, oh yeah, no guys, I can do +5 keys or whatever, or plus 10 keys. Because I couldn't do plus 10 keys. I didn't know how to do them.
Yes, all according to plan.
So I would have to do lower end keys to get the experience, and especially when Raider.io became a thing, and you had ratings for how good your record is.
Of course.
I really don't want to control Blackhand. I didn't really want to do the lower levels because I couldn't get gear. Right? Like, when I looked it up, I needed to do +7 mythics or +8 mythics in order to get gear that was even remotely an upgrade for my class. Or at my current eye level. But, like, all I had the experience doing was, like, +2s, +3s, you know? So if all I have experience doing is +2s or +3s, I have to get experience to get like 5 or 6 levels just to even have a chance at getting a piece of gear that was good. So now I had this huge gap. What do I do to try and get gear that doesn't feel like a complete and utter waste of time? And the answer was basically nothing. There was basically nothing I could do.
Necessary sacrifice.
Might actually be fine. Oh no, I'm pretty much guaranteed to be fine now. He might still kill this demon, but
foolish.
Come on, gear. Nope. No. F my life. All of that, and then I didn't even get what I was hoping for. I don't even know what it is that I'm needed again. I think it was the boots. It's the boots. I'll queue up for the BG because that's the only thing I haven't won yet. So that clear path of progression that I was talking about with Wrath is gone now, because now I had this huge gap. How do I get gear without it feeling like a waste of time? Because I would have to spend hours doing Mythic Pluses at the lower levels to get the Raider.io score, or the experience, or the keys to do the higher levels. And never have a piece of gear to my name in all the hours I wasted doing it. Didn't drop a single goddamn headpiece. So it's not even that I didn't just get my headpiece. I didn't get a single headpiece. Wow. That is ridiculous. Where do I still need gear? Here. I mean, I guess I could do that. So basically, what I'm just trying to say is there was no clear path of progression. Because if you don't want people to leave their lane, I feel like the game is going to die, because you're eventually going to cap what it was that you were doing. So if you don't at least try to nudge people towards doing content that they would otherwise not touch, well, the game will never be able to survive, because you can't construct enough dungeons to keep people entertained if all they're going to do is dungeons. I can't see how you can do it. Right? Because if you do Mythic Pluses, it's the same damn dungeons every week. You know, running them over and over and over again, maybe with a higher difficulty each time, but you're still doing the same thing, just running it over and over and over and over again.
Good fortune to our friends.
Right? And then you can do each Mythic Plus multiple times a week or something like that, if I remember correctly. Look at how much raids we're in Dragonblight, dude. So yeah, so anyway. Because, you may say I don't like raiding, but then maybe they did Iceground back in the day and realized they actually kind of liked that raid. Or, I didn't want to do heroics, but then I did a few of the heroics in the Iceground dungeons, those 3, and found out maybe I really like those. Right? But if you don't try to nudge people in that direction, they're going to run out of things to do. Because if all I want to do is quest, eventually I'm going to run out of quests. And then I'll have nothing but world quests to do. And they're going to get boring really fast because they're all super repetitive. And it's not like doing any world quests necessarily going to get me any good gear. I've already gotten to the point that I don't get a lot of good gear out of doing world quests, right? So, at some point, I'm going to cap everything I can do on World Quests. Why did I go here? Next round is over there. I just really wanted to go Dragonblight. It's such a cool tower with all the cool dragons in it. Right, so if all you ever want to let people do is do mythics, they're going to run out of dungeons, and it's just going to be repetitive nonsense. And then all people do it for is for the... I almost want to joke about them going for clout, because it's like, oh, the most recent plus 30 mythic has been cleared. Meanwhile, you get the best gear at plus 15, so there's really no need to keep going other than to say that you did it. Which is good for some people. Some people want that sort of, like, recognition, but not everybody's going to want to. And then if you say I only want to raid, well then those people are going to come in every week, do the raid for 2 nights a week, and then not play the rest of the game. Once they get to the gear level that they can do the raids comfortably, they don't do anything for the rest of the week. I just feel like you need to nudge people to do the other... Yeah, because I think this was 10-man. Yeah, I have done this. So yeah, you need to nudge people into doing the other content. The only thing I agree should be split up, and I shouldn't have to necessarily cross very much with, is PvE versus PvP. Those are the only things I could agree with maybe keeping split up. But even then, I would still recommend you try to incentivize people to PvP every once in a while. And that's what I'm basically trying to do today with some PvP.
First? Difficult to choose. They all smell so delicious.
Kind of hate the fact that there is no obvious path of... Ooh. What do you look like? Not bad. I just wish there was more, like, incentive to do the content that you're not necessarily the most comfortable to do. Because then you might, you know, do it and then realize, like, oh, it's actually kind of fun or something like that. WoW has just become, I feel like, different sub-communities inside of the already dwindling community. It just feels kind of weird to split them up like that. I will say one of the weak points of Wrath, though, which is where this raid is from, is that the very first, like, big raid was a raid you might have already done. Because this is almost a shot-for-shot remake of the Naxxramas raid that was in Vanilla WoW. They just claimed that the Necropolis moved to Northrend, so it's the exact same dungeon. Split in the exact same wings, and there's only some minor boss differences.
Your mortal desires mean nothing. You are acolytes of the Master now, and you will serve the cause without question.
Oh, shut up. I'm just kind of
the greatest glory is to die in the Master's service.
Kneel before me. Will avenge me.
Oh, great. The same boot twice. Fantastic. Good job. They didn't even get up to help her. See, again, and another thing was kind of in the same vein. There were people that didn't want to do group content or didn't want to have to rely on other people to who didn't want to rely on other people to do content. My brother's actually one of those people. Because, like, he's playing Classic, for example. And he hates that there's group-specific content because, especially in the latter days now of Classic, it's so hard to get a group. So if you're somebody who's a bit of a completionist like him and wants to do all the dungeons and raids and quests as much as possible, there's just going to be days where you go, like, I really want to do this group quest, but I can't do it, I can't get a group. and I can't get a dungeon group. And then he gets stuck with this issue of not being able to complete all the content unless you gather up your own friends, or try to run your own guild sometimes. And especially in Classic, where you need 40 people to do raids, that's really difficult. So he doesn't like to have group quests, and he doesn't want to have and he would like the random dungeon finder thing that came out in Wrath that everyone was pissed off about. But I feel that by getting rid of that, which is what they did in the later expansions, there's very few group quests anymore. And if there are group quests, you only need like 2 or 3 people, and it's only to kill one mob. It's not like some of the group quest areas in... I don't think any of them. No, I'm looking for bracers and belt. Oh, positively evil. Oh, shit. There's a portal here. Right. And nice and spiky, I guess. But yeah, I feel that in the later expansions, when they split off people so that you didn't have to do very much in the way of group content, and when there is group quests, it's not like there's a whole section with a whole bunch of quests in it that's all elite mobs outside of a dungeon. That's not there anymore. It's, if there is what's considered a group quest, it's go kill one mob. And since there is no target tapping anymore, unless it's attacked by the opposite faction, you could just go there and hope 2 people are already killing it, and then go in and get the final couple of blows. That's all you need to do. So there's no need to socialize with people. There's no need to do groups. In most cases.
I serve the master in death.
And again, I understand why they did that, but I feel like something's lost when they do that. Now I know I'm missing a whole bunch of achievements here, but some of these achievements I don't even know how you're really supposed to get them. Like that one seems like it would be really hard to get. That one would be easy. That would be really hard. That's more just time. I guess I just need to kind of find these things, but my main thing is I feel like I'd have to walk away from the carts in order to do that, and then it's like, well, what use are you then? So I just feel that by removing group content that they kind of had a bit of a detrimental effect on WoW, because without the need to socialize with people and work with people on a regular basis in an MMO, you don't make the friendships and the relationships that I feel made old WoW as fun as it was. Alright? I would constantly run into the same people back in the day, or meet people randomly and group up with them because we were trying to tackle a particularly difficult quest, and then we just kept questing together and things like that. And it's not as easy or incentivized to do that now, because even if you do run into someone and have a quick chat with them, there's no incentive to keep inviting them to do things, because it's so easy to find a group for everything. Unless you're trying to do high-end raids, but that's when you get in a guild and it's a whole different story anyway. I mean, I still enjoy WoW for all its flaws. I am still... I guess I could still say I'm invested in the story, whether I should be or not. I'm still pretty invested in the story. I have so many dots on me, it's not even fair. Now, are my people smart enough to go get the other cards? Because they are all focusing this one. Okay, yeah, exactly. So, this is the problem I sometimes have in Battlegrounds. And it really bothers me how everyone gets, like, such bad tunnel vision. Because... and I finally just saw them do something that was like relatively smart. That we were getting absolutely blasted. I know you don't die, I just want you to remember, dude, I am going to die. I am in a battleground against several other people. I am not going to make it out of this alive. In fact, I had just died. But I finally just saw them do something smart. They were completely zerging this one minecart. So the logical thing to do is just let it go. I mean, every time I do a Wrath 3 Basin, like 900 people attack the farm. And what do? We fight tooth and nail to keep it. We then, like, everybody tries to run, tries to keep it, and leaves everything else undefended, so they just go and get everything else. If they're sending like 10 people on a team of 15 to one spot, let them have it. Because while they're busy trying to get that one spot, you could very, very easily stop shooting me. Stop it. If they're all going after one spot, you know what you do? Go after every other spot. So if they're zerging one minecart, let them have it, go get the other two. And that's exactly what we've done, or it looks like we're doing. And that's how you win a battleground. Now the other dumb crap I see these people doing in like other battlegrounds, that's pointless. Oh, Jesus, you guys leave me here by myself? And again, like, I know I'm not a great, like, PvPer in the sense of these guys... Do I actually get a B with the minecart? I do, Jesus. I know that, especially from a standpoint of killing the enemy, I'm not a very good PvPer. I'm very bad at killing the other enemies. I don't know the rotation apparently, or my gear is not that good. So the people that are PvPing exclusively are kicking my butt. So I know I'm not that, but at least I can do a little bit of tactical thinking and not do some of the dumb things I see people doing in these random battlegrounds. They get such tunnel vision, man. They're like, oh, I'm at the farm, and the farm's under attack, save the farm, and then they get there, there's like 15 people attacking the farm, and then they still jump in. See, like, what are these two guys doing? Right? The Alliance have 2 minecarts right now. They have control of 2. This one and this one. And this guy was too busy herp-derping around up here to go down and grab this cart. Right? So now this cart's probably not going to get taken back by the Horde. Or they get there and they go, hey, there's like 15 Alliance here. You know what you do? You go over and get that cart. Right? Because if there's like 10 people over here, there's like 2 over there. And now these guys are just bitching like, oh, we need help in the mid. Now because you guys got somebody over here, I gotta help kill them. Is it 2 healers on top of that too? Okay, so again, this minecart's a bust. Right? Cool. So you guys, if you stick on that card, should be able to handle it. Let me go see what's going on with this card. See, now there's no way we're going to be able to capture this card. So only because one person came down and everyone else is herp-derping around over here, we never capture that card. Now the Alliance has a lead when we had like a 2 or 3 card lead before. Thin this out at all. Okay, so let them have it. Come back and get the next 2 cards. If they got that many people on that card. Alright, so we managed to grab it. Can they hold it? If they can hold it, that'd be nice, but I hope someone's going to get back to mid to grab the one that's about to pop up here. No, they didn't hold it. However, how many people are down there? Can I tip the tide a little bit? No, Jesus, how did they manage to grab it that hard? You know what, I'm just gonna keep them slowed. See if I can slow them down just a little bit. But see, now I don't think we have enough of a lead. Because if they cap a single minecart, it's over. So now, if they're zerging a minecart, we basically have no choice but to re-zerg that minecart. Because if that gets to the depot, we are screwed. And like, this one's not gonna make it. So even if I said maybe if we cap these 2 before they cap that one, it's not gonna work because we're never going to get. That one's not gonna make it before this one does. See, maybe if that one would have made it first. But I knew it wasn't going to.
I need a target.
Yeah, well, let's go finish the mod run before the end of the night. And I think that's my major frustration with trying to do PvP is, again, like, I do have to rely on a bunch of other people being smart about what they're doing. And I know that I'm not perfect. I'm definitely making mistakes, but there's some obvious glaring mistakes that people do and get tunnel vision, and it's like, you could be winning this right now, but you're being so dumb about it. But that's the thing, is I don't think I'd be able to get into any rated battleground group, right? Because there's probably some sort of minimum requirements or achievements that they want that I'm definitely not going to have. No, or a honor ranking or something. Because at least in rated battlegrounds, I'm assuming they'd have a little bit more coordination. Be better about that. You know, instead of just the tunnel vision and tomfoolery you see there. But then again, then the other team would probably have that as well, so... I did enjoy Naxxramas, but it was kind of lazy the way that they did it. How it was really just a rehash of an old raid. Because one thing I do say about the modern expansion that does kind of bug me is that there's all the raids are super long, right? There's one raid every tier, and it's always got like 12 bosses or something.
Next.
Right? It's always got like 12 bosses. Whereas Wrath came out and there were 3 raids, 2 of which were rather short. Well, 4 raids I guess you could kind of say. But 3 of them were really short. 1 boss. One of them was 1 real boss and like 3 mini bosses, but... Right, 1 boss. Something you could pop in on raid night, go get a piece of gear or try to get a piece of gear. And then... save Naxxramas or when you're trying to get a lot of pieces of gear or whatever. And I like that there was choices, right? Mists of Pandaria had 3 raids near the beginning, even though there was a very obvious first, second, and third one you were supposed to do. Now it was really like there was choices and things to look forward to. This expansion is going to have Castle Nathria, and then that's it. That's all it's going to be until the first major. The first major patch comes out. That's actually assuming that the first major patch even has a dungeon. Right? I don't think Legion's first major patch had a dungeon, and I really don't think BFA did.
The first kill goes to me. Anyone care to wager?
Because I think it was... in Legion, all they did was they added in the Karazhan dungeon, which was a big dungeon, but it wasn't a raid. And what did BFA's first major patch give us? Because I don't think it was a raid. I don't remember, but I don't think it was a raid. It could have been, but again, if they do, it's like 1 patch, 1 raid, 1 patch, 1 raid, 1 patch, 1 raid. Whereas it starts off with 3 raids. The first few expansions all had starting off with 3 or 4 raids, and then 1 raid, 1 raid, 1 raid. That would all be really big raids. So when you're just trying to get started in the expansion, you were really stuck in that you had to do... In modern day WoW, you're stuck that you had to do these 1 dungeons, or 1 raids. They're all super long, and you never... may not necessarily feel like you're making a lot of progress. My guilds back in the days were huge fans of the shorter raids, right? Because we could pop in, pop out, maybe get a piece of gear. Whereas in this dungeon you had, or this raid, you had to kill like 3 bosses to get a piece of gear that's eye level was comparable. Even though it wasn't like eye level nearly as much back then. Gear score was the thing back then. This fight is actually bullcrap.
I'm out of range.
Especially at this level, it's so boring.
Sought your own demise. Brazenly you have disregarded powers beyond your understanding. You have fought hard to invade the realm of the Harvester. Now, there is only one way out. To walk the lonely path.
Yeah, can we get out of it? So the point of this fight was you stood here, and then mobs would come towards you. Now obviously you wouldn't kill them that fast, but when you kill a mob, its spirit goes over on this side. So you're just supposed to sit here and kill mobs as they come until eventually there was a transition period where this door opens, and then you get attacked by all the spirits as well as a few ads that are left over here. You know, and that was a little bit of a challenge because you did have to now split your group up because you need to try and deal with all this at the same time you're dealing with people still over here. And finally, when you were finished with this side, the ads stopped popping up, then this boss would come down. This boss is actually really weak and doesn't really have much in the way of abilities.
I need to get closer.
So once he comes down, the fight's pretty much over. At least that was my experience back when I rated it. You know, back at the proper level and everything. But then so I guess it was a little bit more entertaining back then in that, like, you know, you were constantly fighting because I now am just killing them in one shot and then I have to sit here and wait while something else spawns.
Too far away.
So I'm just sitting here, just waiting. Just waiting. Come on, send more people to their death. Let's go. And that type of mechanic that they have where like the boss itself isn't even that dangerous has always kind of irked me. Right? I've always kind of felt that in a fight with, you know, bosses, the boss itself should be the biggest problem in the fight. See, now they all come rushing out at me. But yeah, I really feel like they should be the biggest threat in the fight. And there's so many, like, raids where... Yeah, Yokin Carrot, this is, I'm doing World of Warcraft. Wednesday, I've been thinking, I've been trying to consistently do some Warcraft content. Now I'm just fighting all these small mobs until that guy down there comes down and tries to kill me so I can kill him in one hit.
I have a target. I'm out of range.
Well, I'm powerful for this raid. Because the way that it works is I'm level 60 and this raid was like the max level raid 10 years ago. So I completely and utterly out level this area, so everything's like one hit kills. But the reason why I'm coming back here is because They added a feature a couple of expansions ago, long after this raid, where when you got a piece of gear or looted a piece of gear that you could wear, its appearance gets added to a collection. It's called a transmogrification or something. Yeah, when you've waited. Jeez. Inventory's full again. I'm gonna throw out.
To arms here, roustabouts. We've got company.
So every time you get a piece of gear that you can wear, it gets put into a collection.
Still can.
So, like for example, here's all my shoulder pieces. Right?
Not before we
Here's all the helmets that I've collected. Right, so I've got.
I do hope they stay alive
almost
long enough for me to introduce myself.
Perhaps they will come to their senses.
Yeah, about right
run
here.
away as fast as they can.
So I've got almost half of my half of all the helmets I could be wearing. So what happens is, if I want to look like, because look, this is the gear I'm wearing right now. This gear looks terrible. I look like a freaking robot, right? But some of the old raids will have like gear pieces that I can put on and make myself look rather cool. And old raids used to have like sets, right? So, for example, in the very first like raid way back like 15 years ago or whatever it was, if you collected all these pieces of gear back in the day, you would look like this. All that gear was part of an outfit per se, and then if you had every piece of the outfit, you got like gear bonuses or attack bonuses or something. So if you got sets, these are obviously really coherent looking pieces, right? Like, so this one was from the second expansion, or one of the second tier raid from the very first vanilla, right? And this is from the last tier, and there's all these other little like outfits I can get for myself, right? And I'm currently working on this one, but I'm missing bracers and a belt, so I can't quite look like this yet. Okay, so you can't just kill them like that. You really need a PC. You need this game.
What a bloody waste!
I mean, I certainly still recommend WoW. I know there's a lot of people who think that WoW isn't as good as it was back then, and there definitely are things I really prefer about old WoW, but I still find WoW an enjoyable game.
I'm tired of these games. Proceed, and I will bash your souls to oblivion.
I didn't even loot them, did I? Just killed them and then left. Luckily it's a short walk. So I mean, if you do get a PC, I do recommend World of Warcraft. It's not very extensive. You don't need like a high-end PC to run it, and it is fun. I mean, the game has lasted over a decade, so it can't be a bad game if it lasts that long. So if you are in the market for a PC, this is a game you could look up. You are certainly would be getting into it late. It is in its like senior years, so it's nowhere near it has the same amount of players as it did back in its peak. The base game. What just happened? Oh, there we go. The base game is actually free to play in the sense of you don't have to pay to buy it. The game does require a $15 a month subscription, and you can pay in 3-month or 6-month intervals, which technically make it a little bit cheaper. So if you pay every 6 months, it actually works out to something like $12 a month. And then if you want the latest expansion, it's like $50. So if you want to get started today, you would need $50 for the newest expansion, and then pay $15 a month on top of it. So it also does kind of depend on how much disposable... Why do you need monthly pay? So the way that... Well, this is a massively multiplayer online game. And MMOs... always... The pay model for MMOs was always a monthly fee. Because the whole thing with an MMO is that it's constantly changing. Every few months there needs to be a new piece of dungeon. There needs to be a new this, there needs to be a new that. The staff is constantly working on it. So, if they just sold a base price with no monthly income, they wouldn't necessarily be able to give the content with the speed that we would expect or want in order to keep the game alive. And as long as there's a player base, a large enough player base, they will continue to charge monthly. See, a lot of MMOs do eventually go free to play once they start losing too many people that they're not making enough money. But when an MMO goes free to play, they tend to start doing all these other like really scummy ways to try and make money, such as like loot boxes or pay to win mechanics. Like if you give me $20, we'll give you this really good sword that you can get without paying, but it's really hard or takes a long time to get it.
I can't carry anymore.
So there is a incentive for us to keep paying monthly so we don't get all of those scummy little tactics, right? But essentially the monthly pay is to ensure that... Do I know how much people play? The game is so large and varied that I probably can't honestly answer that question, because how much people play really depends on who you ask. There's people that only play maybe a few hours a week. There's people that play 8 hours a day. And then on top of, you know, just how enjoyable you find it, then there's other things to keep in mind, like, there's other things to keep in mind, like, what is your favorite activity? If your favorite activity is PvP, so if you're someone who likes facing other players, doing content that way, you can keep doing that over and over and over again and never necessarily reach a limit. If you want to be like really high-end player, like every time a new piece of content comes out, like a new raid, and a raid being a large dungeon that requires like 20 people to do, or 20 players to do, every time a new one of those comes out, there's this immediate like race to be the first group of people to down that raid. So every time that comes out, there's a brand new race, and so all the high-end guilds with the really dedicated players do this big race to be the first ones to get there. However, those people have to put in a lot of time to get all the gear they need, to get all the potions and craftables and everything they need. They spend a lot of time before a raid comes out to get all that. They spend hours upon hours upon hours. But oh, hi. But once they get that raid done, or that race is done, those same players then barely play for like 2 months, because they've now completed it. What do they need? Why would they need to go back in? Which one have I not done? This one. I've done 3 wings. I might as well do the other one. So yeah, so those people have like the really high play rate for a period of time, and then a really low play rate after that's done. But then, like, if you're an achievement person, so I like gathering achievements. As you can see, I have over 3,000 achievements, and there's just under 4,000 achievements. This is not fast. This is not a fast thing to get all of these. And some of these take a stupid long amount of time to get them. Right? But if you're someone who wants to get all that stuff, you have to play hours upon hours a day. Just 1 second, guys. You go to the bar. So I guess Yo can care. The question is, when you play a game, how much do you care about completing every aspect of it? Because that will really answer your question of how much do people play. And therefore, how much you would play. I appear to have pissed off the locals. Come at me, bros. Ah! Don't have a lot of patience. So yeah, so if you played this game, then there'd be certain aspects of the game you probably wouldn't be too, you know, too thrilled about. But what am I in combat with? Oh, this one's coming after me, and so is this one. Okay, problem solved. No? Still under attack? Screw it. So if you don't have a lot of patience, there's definitely going to be things that you're going to hate about the game. But if you're not a patient person, you're probably not a completionist anyway. So you're not somebody who's going to be like, I need all 4,000 achievements. Give me all the achievements. Right, so in which case you wouldn't need to spend a whole bunch of time playing. Right? So then if you're just someone who wants to kind of experience the story, experience the raids, and you don't necessarily care about doing the raids on the highest difficulties, you only need to play a few hours a week. Like, you don't need to play that much. Was that what I need? Damn it, I thought that's what I needed! It even has the same icon and everything! Oh, god damn. But to put it in perspective, I've been playing this game for about 14 years, so it can't be a terrible game that if I've dumped 14 years of my life into it. Actually, let's see here. So, I don't know if you can see that properly, but right down here, it says 451 days, 4 hours, 36 minutes, and 36 seconds. So, I have spent 451 days total time playing this one character. Now, I've easily played this character way more than any other character that I have. But I have basically about 500 days played in this game. Thereabouts. But I also did that over the course of... I did it over the course of like 15 years or 14 years, so that's actually not that bad compared to some other people. Hello, big guy. So after killing all those bosses, I once again don't have a single set piece.
No idea what horrors lie ahead. You have seen nothing.
I don't even know if these guys drop set pieces, but let's just kill them anyway. Well, I mean, it has an appearance I don't have, so. Yeah, so the last couple bosses have a couple of appearances I don't have, so I might as well give it a whirl. You got a repeat appearance, that's not as much fun.
So, we will eradicate the Alliance and Horde. Then the rest of Azeroth will fall before.
But that being said, Yoken Carrot, if you're not a PC player, what do you play on usually?
Yes, Master.
What console are you a fanboy of?
What is this? Invaders here.
Ah, Xbox player. I have been not a console player for a number of years now. Except for Switch. We bought a Switch. Switch is awesome. 100% recommend a Switch if you don't have one. Switches are the best.
Men, silence! Soldiers of the cold dark. Obey the call.
Alright, come at me one by one like you usually do, and I'll kill you slowly.
Too far away.
I'll kill each individual person fast, but I'll do this fight really slowly because it doesn't let me go any faster. You'd rather have a PC and hook up a remote? So I'm guessing finances are the reason why you don't do that. That is one advantage I will say consoles have over PCs. They're certainly a cheaper investment. And they take up a lot less space. I actually hear that that's one of the reasons why PC playing is not very popular in Japan, because in Japan you have so limited space. So really, we're a lot of people in a really small area, so like apartments aren't that big. So they don't want to, even if they wanted to play PC, the desk and everything would take up too much space. So that's why console playing is still really big there.
Too far away.
I just haven't been a fan of console gaming in a number of years because of, I guess, just the way console gaming has become, if that makes any sense. Like, I remember the old days of the Super Nintendo, right? You have your system, you take the game, you put it in there, and you hit the power button, and there's the game. It's there it is. No worrying if I had enough memory. No worries if the game is going to work, right? Because that's a big thing with PC. Did I have enough space on my computer? Is my computer good enough to run it? All of this jazz, right? So that's what was great about console, was put the game in, there it is. But I almost feel like consoles nowadays are basically trying really hard to almost be computers. And I'm like, if you're trying to be a computer, why don't I just get a bloody computer? There is no plug and play. If I try to get a game, it's like, oh, did you download it? Did you download the most recent update? I remember when I did have an Xbox 360, my wife bought me a game, and when I was like, I'm going to sit down and play this game, 2 hours later I hadn't started playing the game yet, because I had downloaded all the patches and everything, because that was back when they would still sell the discs. I don't know what they do now. So no, I popped the disc in, but the disc is like 4 versions behind, and so 2 hours later I still hadn't played my bloody game. It was much different than how the Super Nintendo used to work. There were no patches for Super Nintendo. If it was broken, the game was bejesus broken, and you dealt with it. Yes, you could have a game where you could suplex a train. during a boss fight, you'd fight a train, which has already been nonsensical enough, but then one of your party members could suplex it, which makes no sense. But they couldn't fix it because there was no patches. So you know what? There's now a game out there where a guy could suplex a train. Bring that back, and I would gladly play console more. It's expensive. I have a $60 game. Yeah, and I guess that's true too, is even if you're on PC or console, you're still paying for the game itself, which is still not going to be cheap. Well, you have no minions, and now you're dead. I mean, I guess I don't have that appearance, so I mean, I got a few transmogs this run, which is nice.
Victory is a hollow one. For I shall return with powers.
And frankly, I actually kind of think it's atrocious that a lot of these games cost $60 anyway. A lot of the games are not worth $60. And then on top of it, to charge me a $60 game and then have all those microtransactions in it is an atrocity all by itself. I'm just old. I remember how games used to be, damn it. Back in my day.
I have many lucky doos you like.
Yeah, that's true too. You're right. It takes so long to download anything. Right, so if you buy a game on Xbox, like, it can take you 3-4 hours, depending on how good your internet is, to download the whole thing. Now, I don't know what it's like where you live. I have the advantage of living in a part of Canada that has fiber op, so my internet's actually pretty nice and pretty fast. So downloading even larger games doesn't take me that long. I did want to try the Call of Duty Modern Warfare that came out, and I had to download that 200-something odd gigabyte game. That still took a little while. Yeah, see, now imagine that. 11 hours to download a game. You're like so excited. New games come out. I really want to play it. You get all hyped up. You turn on your console. 11-hour download. Stupid. Because that's at least one thing I can say about... Again, like, that's the thing. With console, old console, we didn't have that problem. If they brought back the plug-and-play ability, I would have absolutely no issue playing console more than I do now. Where's all the cloth? Cloth? Actually, did I get any cloth that I needed to send over? Here we go. That being said, if you need a Switch, get a Switch. I know it's kind of gimmicky, but my God, there's been some pretty good games on the Switch. And the fact that I can unplug it from the TV and still play my game, that's great. I really like that feature. Now, when you say WoW is such a big game, do you mean, like, memory-wise, like gigabyte-wise, or do you mean, like, in terms of how large the game just is? Because, yes, the game is fairly large. Well, yes, it has a lot of content, but it does again have that pitfall where
I have many,
every
many
time
wares.
every time a new expansion comes out, you're really going to
May your
see
feet find good trails.
you're really going to see a lot of people doing that content. So, like, if you look at the world map, right? You know, this is a world map, that's a world map. So, you see all these spots, but the most recent expansion introduced these continents right here. This is where the current game takes place. So 90% of the player base is going to be in here. Right? Doing the dungeons here, the raids here, and everything here. So really, when you get a new expansion of WoW, so we're talking like as little as 2 months ago, these two islands here, like this here and this here, were where 90% of the player base was. But the moment that the new expansion came out, they all abandoned these two islands and then went here. Because this is old content, right? This content only goes up to level 50. You can see up top there. Cold Terrace is level 10 to 50. So then you go to Shadowlands, which is 50 to 60. So no matter how much you play, no matter how good the gear you get in those other two zones, you're never going to get as much gear as you're going to get in this place. You're never going to get as good materials, or there's all these new mounts and pets and things that you can get. So while WoW's content, like overall content, is huge, if people are only doing like 20% of it at any given time. So the only reason you would go back to any of these old zones is like doing what I just did, where you're doing old dungeons to try and get the appearances. Wait, so you played for 14 years and you're only level 60? Well, see, funny story. The level 60, when WoW first came out back in 2004, there was only this continent here and this continent here. That was all that was in the game. And the game was level 1 to 60. And every expansion added 10 levels. So they added this area, then you could go to level 70. Then they added this area, then you could go to level 80. Then they redid some stuff here, added a few more zones, you could get to level 85. Then you could go to here, and then you could get to level 90. Then you went over here, and then you went to level 100. Then you went to here, and you got to 110, then you got here, and you got to 120. But the developers were like, these numbers are getting too big. I can't handle these numbers. So when this expansion came out, they squished the level number down. So now the max level is 60 again, like it was way back in the day. So, in essence, if they hadn't have done the squish, 14 years later, I'd be level 130. But they squished it because the number was getting too big. So, I actually would be a lot higher level. But now max level is 60. So over here, like I said, these continents were level 50, or are level 50 now, and they used to be level 120. This up here used to be level 80, now it's only level 30. Right? They just squished everything down. They said it works, makes the math work better and everything, and I mean, I guess it does. Alright. But yeah, when they say WoW has a lot of content, I mean, you can still go back to all these old continents. Because when you get to level 60, I can go to this whole continent, do every quest by myself, every dungeon by myself, every raid by myself. No need to get groups or anything. But you'll never experience the content the way that it was meant to be experienced back in the day. Right? Like this dungeon here, this Wailing Caverns, you're supposed to need 5 people for it. And you have to be a bit careful about how you go about the dungeon. You just can't run in and attack 50 things because you're going to die, but now you can go back and solo it because it's so low level, right? So, yes, there's a lot of content, there's a lot to see, but you're only going to face like a real challenge in this area here. But I mean, there is a lot to see. There's a lot of story. There's a lot of lore that you can still pick up. So if you're a story person, this game's full of it. Whether or not you find that story good, I mean, that's all up for interpretation. But if you're a story person, geez, by all means, go through all this old content. There's so much there. Oh yeah, and then there's even like small area here. There's so many places to go. And so many achievements to get. Anyway, so I'm actually a little bit past when I would usually get off for the night, so I think I'm going to call it there. Thanks guys for watching. Thanks Yoke Carrot for popping in, having a chat. Much appreciated. Taking the time out of your day to watch me. But yeah, so I'll probably be on later in the week, maybe even tomorrow. I think Control, I want to play some more Control next. We'll see what happens. Alright, see you guys, and you have a great evening and have a great day tomorrow. Good night.